Greetings. I am your host, Nikki, with my host, AJ, and thank you for joining us as we rock truth or absolutely nothing at all. We live in a society today where truth, even before our very eyes, is consistently questioned, criticized, and altered to fit a person's ideology of God's original intent for the kingdom and for mankind. We believe that the Bible, our kingdom constitution, is inspired, infallible, inherent, and the final authority for all. RockTrue Queens is founded on He, who is the original point of reference for all things to come through eternity. The RockTrue Queens is a cross-cultural response to the generational, economical, and social patterns of the kingdom woman in today's society. RockTrue Queens is established for each one to reach one, to teach one the lost art of embodiment as an inherent chosen daughter. Therefore, exposing the hidden in plain sight of fascination, attempt on the kingdom morals, integrity, and glory of her identity. Ultimately, healing the broken love language between the king and his queen by applying kingdom principles, revelation, and knowledge. The Raw True Queen seeks to inspire, enlighten, and highlight upcoming and established local and international queens and kings of character while promoting Black consciousness and awareness, who we are, and to whom we belong. It is absolutely a kingdom renaissance. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our show tonight. Um, Definitely, we have a great show planned. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship. Hey, AJ, how are you doing? You on the line?
Hey, I'm here. I'm
Good. How are you doing, ma'am?
here. I am great. It's Thursday, another great almost into the week.
Pre-Friday?
It's listen, pre-Friday, Friday Eve, however you want to look at it. I'm happy it's on the horizon.
Look, next week is Thanksgiving. You ready?
Yes, I've already done my mother's shopping from here, so I can load it up in the car and take it to Michigan with me. So, yes, I'm ready. I'm excited. Most of my family are all coming in town, so it's definitely going to be good.
Yes. So, how was your week this week?
Busy, 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 busy. Just I finally finished setting up all my sales that I have for next week and going into Small Business Saturday and for Cyber Monday. So getting that all set up and what else did I do this week? Took new pictures to add to the site, which I got to finish uploading today. So it's been a busy week.
That's good. Busy is always good, and productive is even better. Awesome. This week I did stuff, but I also took time to relax for once and let my body rest. And everything, and definitely make sure my grandmother's getting back around and getting some things taken care of because we got a lot of events coming up, a lot. Um,
Yes,
and a lot
I'm
of
low
things
key
happening with
mad. I
Collab
won't be here
Lab.
next week to be there for a few of them.
Yeah, so we got Collab Lab doing things. Also, I'm part of the firm. We're having a meet and greet. So it's going to be dope. Black Friday coming up. But this Black Friday, we don't want you to spend money. We want you as a business owner to come out and promote to make money. So it's going to be good. Tomorrow, I know Dialogue is doing a charcuterie class. So you can learn how to make your own charcuterie to
I
sit
saw
with your
that,
wine.
and I need more info, ma'am. It didn't say what time or any of
Oh, you
that.
didn't know what time. Okay. Well, tomorrow, I know the classes is on Eventbrite. Definitely got to go to the Eventbrite link. Let me look up the flyer. Here it goes. So it's a course, wine and charcuterie class course. You get to style your own board with Passions for Topia. The course includes one engraved wine glass, one complimentary glass of wine, cheese, cured meat, nuts, fruit, and crackers to create your own board. And it's taking place November 19th at Dialogue. Let me go. Usually we start things at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. That's what I tell people. So around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, people could come out, learn how to make their board, and walk away with a gift. So you walk away with food, some wine, and a good time. Okay. So you definitely want to. The Eventbrite link um, is pretty long, so you can find it by following Dialogue Wine Bar on Facebook and Dialogue event page. So definitely go on there, follow, sign up for the class because it's going to be very, very dope. It's going to be led by a lady named Rashida, and they came and they also do engravings. So it's going to be pretty cool. And that's going to be, I've never seen anything like that. Like I've always wanted to know what it means because, I've never been educated on that till I started working at a wine bar. Like, you go to Cooper's Hawk, but you go to the tasting, you know what I'm saying? You don't really know how they put everything and pair everything together. So it's going to be pretty cool. And the owner, Monica, she knows a whole lot about all that. So she gives a class to her staff on what pairs with what. So it's pretty cool to learn that type of stuff. So no,
Yes,
you just
I'm
don't
all
down
about my
wine.
charcuterie boards. I have one little bougie child who she lives for having the whole spread, and yes, and when you
Mhm.
do not put things in the order that she likes, she won't eat it because she likes it a certain way. So if I make them at home, she puts them together for me.
That's pretty cool.
So yes,
They're
they're
good if
good.
you
And I,
do it right. They really are.
yes,
Um,
because I've had some where the jellies just did not mesh well with everything.
yeah.
So you definitely have to have the right pairings with this. So I definitely I like that.
Yep.
I love
And
it.
then
I
we got
love it.
wine and words on Saturday, which is always off the chain and always sells out every single time. It's going to be happening Saturday. So we got poetry, but it's not like, the Shakespeare poetry. It's going to be adult black people's poetry. Um,
I don't like you.
so
Oh my goodness.
if you're saved
Wow.
and sanctified, this may not be your crowd.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I'm done. Um, and then what is it? Thursday at Collab Lab, isn't it? Jazz and wine.
They've actually been postponed. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So it's been postponed for right now, but still stop by in the cup because there's great food there. And one of our own from the Collab Lab has collaborated and has her sweets in there. Her name is Brianna Russell.
I know. I saw the
Yeah.
video earlier, and then and watching them eat the cupcake made me mad that I didn't get cupcakes from her when I met her at Dialogue
Yeah.
at the pop up. Then we only got
Yeah.
macaroons that day, but yeah, I'm mad. So now I'm gonna have to get my cupcakes when I go there this weekend,
Yeah.
because on Saturdays that's where I hang out.
Yes, she gave me a box to take home the night of my event. And woo, I've been into one of those and knew that my COVID weight was not going anywhere soon. Mm-mm.
I hear you.
And then I ended up giving into Kendra Moore's Krispy Kreme sale. Hey,
Oh yeah, I gotta pick up my donuts. I got donuts too.
yeah, those are the devil too. Hey, Mary,
Hey, hey.
those Krispy Kreme donuts get you every time. Them things that crack, they know what they're doing.
I'm not a fan of them, but my
Really?
kids love them. Nah, I'm not a fan of them.
Ooh wee, they get
I
you
mean,
in
I've
trouble.
eaten them. I've eaten them hot. I've eaten them cold. Mm, they're okay.
Oh
They're
no.
too sweet for me. I
Oh, okay.
no.
Yeah, they can be if you're not a sugar person. Yeah, they be a much. But
So
tonight we're speaking about all and naming these places because they're all have something in common, and they are
yes,
all
yes.
entrepreneurs. And today me and AJ are going to talk about our entrepreneur journey and some things we learned, some things we are learning, which is pretty cool. So make sure, like, if you got questions, you want to make comments, we are live on, YouTube, Facebook. Put your comments out there if you're an entrepreneur. We love to hear some feedback on what your experience has been. We love to highlight it on the show, read it out loud, relate, all that good stuff. But first, I want to cut off to a commercial really quick, and then we come back and get to talk about our entrepreneur journey. All right, AJ?
All right.
Rock Truth got merch, y'all. Who is your true north? Who holds you down so you'll always know where you are? God, the original true north, the original point of reference. Check out our clothing line, True North, at rocktruth2.com for your kingdom culture needs. Everything from tees to sweats, men's, women's, and kids' sizes. Inez Essentials Whipped Body Butter has a wide assortment of 8-ounce body butter made with unrefined shea and mango butter, infused with vitamin E oil, coconut oil, sweet almond oil, natural mica powder, and fragrant essential oils. It is designed to heal and moisturize dry skin, and it is perfect for the whole family. Our whipped shea butter is handcrafted with a blend of natural and organic ingredients. The unicorn body butter can be customized to the scent of your choice. If a scent is not chosen, no scent will be added. Have you been searching for a custom home decor and crafts? Check out Delicious Designs. For more information, simply search Della Williamson on Facebook. Are you in need of advertisement or marketing tools? Branded in his image prints, logos, flyers. Contact us today. RockTrue Prints is ready to serve your printing and designing needs. We offer a full array of marketing tools, logos, flyers, business cards, video ads, and website designs. If you need our services for prints, we got you there too. Contact us at rocktruthradio@gmail.com for more information.
All right, we are back, and we are going to jump into it because whether you guys know it or not, me and AJ are also entrepreneurs. So the commercial you saw for Inez is, drum roll, AJ Adams brand.
No, I'm playing. Yes.
Fireworks.
Yes. So for me, when did we start? So Inez Essential started June, well, officially on paper, June of 2020. So it's definitely been a journey for me, and for my kids. Because 98% of the time when I'm doing pop-up shops, they are there with me. My son is always the one ready to be out front, ready to greet people and all that good stuff. So, but it's definitely been a journey. It's definitely been a learning experience for me. Um, and just, I definitely strive to learn something new and network. Networking has been the biggest thing for me, and getting started and continuing to go on. So yeah. And for you, Miss Ma'am, when did you start?
My entrepreneur spirit kicked in when I lived in Indianapolis back in over 14, 15 years ago, actually. But it's funny because my best friend is the one that told me I should go into business being a wedding planner, because she knew I was like a hopeless romantic. I love love. I love weddings. I'm very organized. And she was like, buddy, you should just go into business doing that. By the way, that thought never crossed my mind. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how God speaks through the people around you, because I literally, growing up, you're taught, go to college, get a degree, get a good job. You're not encouraged to go work for yourself. That's not a conversation I heard growing up. And I didn't know what it was called. I knew that I didn't want to be like everybody else, but I never knew to go into business for myself, you know. And so she was like, I just started immediately looking up things, downloading images from David Bridal, from all over, just gathering like ideas. And I came with the name Beautiful Weddings on a Budget, because I want to plan a beautiful day to show people they don't have to, whether you have the money or not, you can still have a beautiful day. But I don't want you to get so caught up in the ideal that you forget the moment and the magic of it, and the fact that you have to live after. So I also wanted to add the element of making sure, as a wedding planner, um, I'm sitting with my bride and groom and giving value, in the, um, budgeting side, following a budget, showing them, finding deals for them, making it the process as easy and enjoyable as possible. Because a lot of people, when they take on planning a wedding, by the time they're almost done, they're like, people really do this for a living? Like, I'm stressed. They family got them stressed. Mama and daddy like, oh, why don't you invite this person? And they're inviting a whole bunch of people that don't even matter, that they don't know. And before they know it, it's not enjoyable anymore. And I feel that that is a day you should be enjoying, not stressed about. And so down the line, I got approached. I started doing networking events. I got approached to do financial services, which, by the way, helped me because I had to retire from being a surgical tech due to 3 back surgeries. So, kind of, I was forced to go ahead and really step out on faith 100%, and do financial services, which actually went hand in hand with what I wanted to do with wedding planning. So now I have the credentials to talk to people about finances, but also help myself and my couples make sure that they are protected through life insurance for life. Because starting a new life, you need to have all those things. Wedding day is pretty and all, but you want to be established. You want to go into your life as stress free as possible, with things that you really don't want to worry about, and creating a legacy starting off. So put those hand in hand, and boom, here I am. Then I discovered I have a talent for promoting and helping people build their business. I love helping people. So it all goes together.
It does. Because I know, well, I knew you did both, but which one? Well, okay, so you said you started the wedding planning first, but
Mm-hmm.
out of the two, which one, I'm not, I guess you can say is more fulfilling for you?
Passionate more about, like more passionate about.
Yeah, yeah, you can say that.
I would say the wedding planning. I love weddings. I love people partying, having a good time. Um, I am passionate about life insurance because it's needed. That's cool. I was introduced to it, but I've never been a money or numbers person. So I wanted to learn it really selfishly a little bit for myself, because that's been a weakness in my life for me, is money and finances. So if it's a weakness for me, then that means it's for other people too sometimes. Majority of us. So that's the reason I really wanted to learn it, but then tell other people. When I learn things, I like to share with other people. And it also gave me, credibility if I'm going to talk to a bride and groom about money, that I got a license in it, and I've been doing it now and getting the experience. Because I believe that business can fund my Beautiful Weddings on a Budget business. Because my goal is to not owe anybody anything when I build my businesses. I don't want to have to take out loans. I don't want to have to do any of that. I want my businesses to fund each other. And I believe the life insurance side, because the industry is in, can do that. You know what I'm saying? You there, AJ?
Yep, decided I wanted to stay there a little bit longer. Um, no, I hear you. One of the biggest things, like for me, it's definitely fun for me. I get to work with my kids most of the time. But it was something that, we did for us, in the beginning, and it definitely blossomed into so much more that I thought I was capable of.
Okay.
Um, going from just the body butter, but now also into my candles and scrubs and soap. So it's definitely been a journey. Um, and then also getting connected to other people, getting connected to business groups.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I am not only in the collab lab, but I'm also in another business group called Pure Network, where we have different topics every month. So I've had the pleasure of learning about business credit, properly setting your business up, um, getting connected with grants in the area and things like that. So, and learning you can't do everything by yourself. So,
That part.
and that's my biggest thing is I wanted to do everything by myself, and you can't. You
You
can't.
need a team. You definitely need a team. Being a part of, I will say this, being a part of PHP, doing the insurance side, I'm not even learning about insurance. I'm learning how to build a business, to be honest. I'm learning how to have a system, like you said, not working by yourself, but trusting other people to add to what you're doing. Because if you think about it, the CEO of JCPenney doesn't come to JCPenney and work. When they created JCPenney, they hire people to do the work that they can't do. Learning the value of people and actually putting them in places. Like there are certain things you're good at, and there's certain things other people are good at. And you don't have to know everything. You just need to know the people that know how to do the other stuff. I don't want to be my own financing and accounting department. I want to find people that do that as I grow. Um, so I learned, like I tell people, and self development is key. A lot of people do not do that part. I know a lot of people outside, a lot of people are A type. I'm a structured person. I like structure. I like organization, because it's cool to take action, but you need to have steps too. Because if you're going to have people follow you and you're going to have people join your organization, it has to be structured in some type of way. So you definitely want to make sure of that. I've learned quite a few things, and mentor is very important. Um, yeah, mentorship is very important also. Reading books, mentorship, self development, those things are important in building a business. You just can't wing it. Even God has a matchup system. That's why he has prophets. That's why he has preachers. That's why he has people that do different things. Yes, he's omnipresent, but he chose people and pick people out to do things that worked in their craft. You know what I'm saying? And if God has a matchup system, why don't you? You know. So that's how I view it. So, Miss AJ, so what have you learned about yourself doing your business? Like, what's some things you surprised yourself with?
I'm sorry. Say it again, Nikki.
I said, what are some things you learned about yourself growing your business? Like, what are some things that you surprised yourself with as you were growing?
Um, Surprise myself with. I think it was more so in my head. I'm not a people person, but I've always worked in customer service, if that makes sense. Um, so learning to just be out in the front and not just, here it is. I don't want my face on it. So surprising myself with how comfortable I really am doing it, how comfortable I am talking about what I do. Um, and going on from that, but also just in my I know I'm creative. I know that um and I know what I like, but just putting my hands to work and putting my thoughts to work to actually get it all done, that's been more surprising to me. And the support from strangers has been more surprising, but also um, one of the biggest things for me, one of the things that I've gravitated towards.
I love it. I love it. What are some things which you see your like what's the vision for yourself in the next couple of years? Like, how big do you want INF Essentials to be? Do you want to be on store shelves, or are you like, I just want to keep it local, online? What do you want to do?
The ultimate goal is definitely be on the store shelves. Right now, I'll say 2 years is just more visible online, more visible social media wise. And not just, with the pop ups and things, but just, all around. But definitely the ultimate goal is to be on the store shelf.
That's dope. What's your store? What's the first store you want to be at? That you are like manifesting, you're saying, I know if I get this store first, we blowing up.
I mean, Target. That's
I knew
Target. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I would love to be in a Walmart as well, or whoever. But even Walgreens, CVS, I want to be on everybody's shelf. I want you to see it everywhere. But Target,
I knew
you
it.
gotta be in the Target.
I know for me, like I said, I told you my passion is the wedding planning side. So I want to have my own wedding gown line. Um, I want to have offices in multiple cities. Um, but I also want to be one of the, I want to be a David Butera. A lot of people don't know who he is in the wedding planning and event
Oh,
planning
yes,
line.
ma'am, I do.
You
Yes, I
do.
do.
Thank you, ma'am, for being cultured. Uh, um, I want to walk in when I can influence other people life, like how he's been able to give back because he's been so successful and his name is out there, but also like he's been able to give some brides who may not have the means to have the wedding they want. He has his own show where he can give back to those brides. And he has created his own wedding gown line. And the events he put together are just absolutely beautiful. And the things that he puts together for people, once they tell him a vision, he's actually able to execute. And that no matter what, as you cut it as an entrepreneur, you're in a people business, whether it's building people or executing their visions. And so definitely the most important part that I've learned is I'm actually good with people. As much as I like to be alone sometimes, I'm actually good with people, and I thank my grandfather for that. um, but really listening to people, what they want, that's a skill, by the way. And also, you got to keep developing it, actually. That you have to definitely keep developing. You can't rest on charisma alone. You can't just rest on, yeah, figure it out. Like, people have to know that you're solid. People have to respect you. People have to know that you come through. Consistency is key, because people buy you before they buy anything else and before they trust you with anything else. They have to know that they see those qualities. And I think people forget that when they become an entrepreneur. They think it's having this great product and it's going to sell off the shelf, but it really is developing yourself and your identity, um, to know how to really work with people. Difficult because everybody not going to like you. Everybody's not going to be the greatest customer, and you have to be prepared to how to handle those different types of personalities. So yeah, so I've been surprised. I'm really good at working with people and different personalities and problem solving.
And like you said, consistency, but also self development, and that's the other thing is I am constantly trying to figure out new things, and also asking questions. A lot of I've learned, even for me, I don't ask a lot of questions at first, but being in business, you have to ask questions to the person who's already been there, but also
Mhm.
to the people that are coming behind you. Just and even though they're coming behind you, they still you don't know what they know, and just learning that, but also putting what you learn and what you gather from other people, putting it to use and not just holding on to it.
That part, and you can't be scared of competition in business. um, you can't be scared. I know there's probably millions of other wedding planners. The whole point is to see what makes you stand out because they can't serve billions of people by themselves. You feel me? You have to know that there's a place for you in the marketplace when you start your business, and that what you just have to have a vision and what you're going to bring that's different to the table. There's like Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's. Nobody goes to all three at the same time. So whatever you're in the mood for that day, that's who you're gonna go to. They all serve burgers and they all serve fries. You know,
Yep.
but
Yep. Like I mean, and like I said before, you you can still burn a candle from both ends, and it's still gonna have fire. You're
yeah.
not gonna lose your fire for helping nobody.
I think one thing. What is something that you think people underestimate when starting their business? What is something you underestimated?
Um, I underestimated the time, and I underestimated my own understanding of bookkeeping. I was like, oh, I know bookkeeping, I can do that. And it's like I knew 80% of it, but that other 20 is what killed me in the beginning.
Hmm.
But also not knowing business credit the way I do now and how to build it, how to use it, what you can use it for. All of
Yeah.
that I definitely underestimated.
For me, I underestimated investment of time and money. Um, that your first couple of years is going to require a lot of sacrifices. By the way, did not learn this until I became a part of the company I'm with now and had mentorship to teach me that. I cannot reiterate how important a mentor is. I want to break away and talk about that. A mentor is so important. Being around people who are doing better than you in whatever industry, I mean, in your industry and also in business, is viable. It's like very important. You cannot be intimidated by people who are successful because those are the ones you want to ask questions of because they can guide you in a way that can you can avoid some of the downfalls that they went through. You're never going to avoid the ups and downs, but they can help you navigate better. And then that's where they can give you the books to read, the tools that they used in order to be who they are. Sometimes we look at a finished product and we forget that that finished product had to go through a process. And by the way, you never stop growing. You can't stop growing. You can't stop learning as an entrepreneur. It only gets boring when you become a know-it-all and nobody can tell you anything. You have to learn sometimes to have time during your day in your schedule that you are self-developing and that you are taking time to grow yourself and mentally, because that's very important. Because eventually you want to reach high quality customers, you want to reach a different market, and you will never out earn your identity. So you have to grow it. Is very important. People, a lot of people think they can start a business and they can go it alone, and it's just a simple get rich quick. It's not. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It is actual work. You see who you really are and what you're really made of being an entrepreneur. You see your work ethic. See, some people think they're hard workers because they have somebody telling them what to do. No, it's when you don't have somebody telling you what to do that you see what you're really made of. When you start a business, you're really self-employed. You're still working for yourself. You have to treat it like a 9 to 5. You don't become a business owner until you can walk away from the business and it can run itself. And then when it runs itself, eventually you become an investor, and that's where you're making millions and you can invest in other people. So it's called the cash flow quadrant. It's in Robert Kiyosaki's book. We teach that because people think automatically because they made the one-time investment. No, your business is going to require multiple investments. That's just facts. You know what I'm saying? You got to buy supplies. And then sometimes you don't charge to your value. You got to learn how to charge for your value. That's
Listen,
important.
if know your worth was a lesson, is
Hmm.
charge correctly.
Charge
Um,
correctly. And I mean, not come out the gate asking for a grand and you know that you're like a novice at this.
right.
Like,
Um,
but you coming out the gate with like, okay, look, I gotta make something back. You know what I'm saying? And
yep.
as I grow in my expertise and in my skill set, then I ask for more. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And don't let
Um,
nobody devalue your value. Like they not your
yes.
client.
It's funny because um, different groups that I follow on Facebook or whatever, you always see the people come in like, oh, what should I charge? What should I charge? I sell the same thing you do, but you have to value your time, and that's not in the
Hmm.
formula. That's not
Nope.
in the formula for what to charge. But you also have to know your products that you're buying to make or do whatever to sell. You also have to know the how to break that down, and that was another thing that I didn't know initially. I think I was like maybe 4 or 5 months in when
Hmm.
I learned, oh, this is how you break down what you buy down into the ounces, down into how much you use of certain things to figure out, are you charging enough? Are you charging too much? Are you making products that are worth what you are selling them for? Um, I've met quite a few people who sell body butter, same size that I do, and they charge double what I do.
Hmm.
In which I'm not going to change my prices to, oh, because they're doing it, I need to charge double too. It's just they look at things different. They may use different products. They may use different quality of things, or it's just they're more into the money and opposed to, am I putting out quality products? Because I can go
Hmm.
buy a $30 body butter, but is it really going to be good? Am I going to
Right.
put it on and be ashy in 10 minutes? So it's you have to look at a lot of things, but for me it was knowing what I buy to use to make it, how to break
Hmm.
that down, but also how to charge and still not overcharge people, but also still make a profit.
True.
um
That's a
the
that part right there. I think is touchy for a lot of people. Like, how did you determine your prices?
hmm even with candles, you can have you have people who say, oh, I'm selling you a luxurious candle, I'm selling you um a candle that's made, that they sell for $80 for a 4-ounce candle, but what's in it that's making it $80?
Right.
Is it your vessel or your jar? Is it the actual wax? Is it the oils that you're using? Is it your wicks? And that's another thing. I've met people make the same candle that I make, and they
Hmm.
charge $40 for their candle. And wax wise, the wax that I use is a little more expensive than what they're using, but it's about, again, knowing your worth, but also what are you trying to portray? If you're going for the luxury, like I'm selling you luxury, then yeah,
Hmm.
you can charge more, but is it really worth it? If I pay 40 or
Right.
$70 for a candle,
That's the thing.
baby.
I think people battle with. That's what I'm saying. If I'm paying that much, ain't no candles to me worth that much. I'm sorry, and I'm a candle fiend. Like I
Listen,
love candles. Okay.
Joe Malone has a candle. I think it's $70 for a 6-ounce candle.
Mm.
Alicia Keys candle, I think it's like $40 or $50 for a 6-ounce. Bond number 9, one of my favorite perfumes. Their candles are ridiculous. Drake
But you notice you
candle.
attach names to it, so people are paying for the name. You know what I'm
You paying
saying?
for the name.
They're paying for the name because their name has value and it has stock. So
Yep.
that's the thing. I know what I've came across doing vendor events and things like that. So I noticed a lot of people don't know the difference between a boutique and retail.
Ooh,
Um,
baby.
so what people don't understand, like when a person you see a small business owner and they have a boutique, that means they carry custom things. They
Mhm.
carry things that they have to buy and get shipped and those kinds of things. By the way, I just learned this myself. I didn't know. This comes from asking questions of a boutique owner. Okay. Because her pieces were expensive, but they were nice looking. And she was just saying like how a lot of people don't know the difference. They're looking for retail price. And what you're paying for is exclusivity. So if you
Mhm.
see something, is you're paying for the exclusivity. That's what you're paying for. And by the way, it's a good quality product. It's not cheaply
And
made.
that's the difference. You know, a lot of people, you know how you can say, "Oh, I can go on Amazon and get it." Well, no, boutique, you're not getting that from Amazon. You're
Mm-mm.
not. You will not see it on Amazon.
The stuff they're
Um,
ordering is name brand. It's just a name brand you don't know, but it is name brand.
mhm.
You know.
I actually learned that there's well, a lady I grew up with, I always talk to her about, she has a boutique, but she also talks about where she flies to go to different vendor shows that sell all the clothes. And then how she goes about looking for those products. So not going for everything that's on the beaten path, that everybody's wearing this and everybody's carrying this, the what is it, the dollar purse,
Mhm.
so, and I love going to her boutique because I know that if I buy something there, she only has one or two. So it's very rare that you're going to see somebody with your same outfit on.
Yep.
Um, Whereas if you buy it on Amazon, you probably gonna find four or five people with it on, and
Pretty much. Yeah.
so and don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with it. I shop on Amazon for a
I
lot of
love
things,
Amazon. Amazon
but
is proof.
at the same time, I know that if I'm going in a boutique and I'm paying $70 for the shirt or however much for a shirt, I know that I'm not only getting quality, but I'm getting something, like you said, exclusive, or
Hmm.
so.
That's what people it's cost. Okay, so I know people are like, oh my gosh, what's the cost? The cost of them making it. It's not just the cost; it's the time. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
the work that goes into it. The reason that most people, if they're private sellers, have to charge a little more because they're taking time and they don't mass produce. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um,
Yes.
those things
Yes.
take money when you mass produce and all that. Those are bigger companies. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
a Yankee Candle and White Barn can charge you $20 and $50, whatever they charging because they're mass producing. They can do
Yep.
sales. They can do those kind of things because they can mass produce because they know they're going to recoup that. That's the other part. Because I can't mass
Hmm.
produce it and I'm not going to recoup anything. That's a lot of ways. So I think there are a lot of things in business people don't understand that no, we're not trying to rob you. No, we're not trying to scam you. Business owners have a lot of investments to make. Just like if you go to a bar, right? If you go to a wine bar, and this is a bar period, okay? Because people have friends who own bars, and they're like, "Oh, hook me up with a drink," or "Hook me," the hook me up people. And it's like, yeah, they pay money, top dollar. I went to Dialogue and accepted a shipment. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is expensive. You know,
Hmm.
they're not paying liquor store prices. They're not doing that. Like they're not going. They really have to invest. And they have to recoup that money. So your drinks and your food and things like that, you're really not making them millionaires. You're just recouping what they're doing. They got to invest that right back until they become
Hmm.
a bigger entity. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say owning a restaurant, owning bars, and anything in that industry is very expensive
Hmm.
because most people fail because they don't realize the seriousness of it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not only that, they don't reinvest enough.
Yeah.
They're trying to hurry up and pull a profit, and it's like you can't always get a profit in your first. I'll even say your first year.
Mm-mm.
Um, but and I've met people who are like, oh, I start paying myself like after my first month, and that's great if you can,
Right.
but it's not sound. It's not a good thing to do that when you still have to reinvest.
You do.
And you even if you know you put all the money to having the best labels, the best logo and everything, you can always improve on something. So how do you pay for your improvement? You
That's
have
the
to
part.
reinvest.
That's the reinvestment part. And this is where it goes back to, like I said, I'm glad that I became a part of something bigger than me that could teach me the mindset, the
Mhm.
skills. Um, I actually started doing as a business owner. Um, so, people forget every part of your life has to line up. So, mentally, physically, spiritually, um, all those things go into being a successful business owner. Um, Something I've learned is that's very, very important, and I know a lot of people do not do, is self-development. I know you're like,
Oh yeah.
Nikki, you said that
You
5 times because people don't get it.
mhm.
If you are not self-developing and building your mind, me included, okay, you are not going to get to where you want to be. You will get only as far as your mind can see and what you know.
Mhm.
The books are there to expand your mind more and more. So, like, think about a balloon. When you start filling it with water, what happens to it?
It expands.
It expands. It starts taking in more than you think, and you do it until it can't. Literally, that's your mind. You have to keep feeding your
Mhm.
mind good things and the things that are going to help expand your vision, because when you go into it, you are limited, whether you think you're a big thinker or not. It takes the consistency of reading books, being around the right people in order for your mind to stay there. It takes work to stay there because you're going to come against people that may get you down for the day. You may be around energy that doesn't match yours. You know what I'm saying? And as you start growing, watch your circle change. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like, you're going to start attracting people you never thought you would attract. You're gonna start attracting clients that you like, where did they come from? They got what? Oh, okay. You're gonna look up and be in new markets. I know it's happened. you know, if you had any
Mhm.
of the clients I got now, when I first started, I've been looking crazy. I didn't you could have never told me I'll sell $1 million policy. And that's really nothing. But I'm just saying, at the beginning I didn't think that big. You know what I'm saying? I had a
And
vision
that,
for my
and
life.
that's the thing. People also don't think bigger than, you know. Oh, I'm trying to think which pop up. I'll say probably my first pop up.
Hmm.
I went into this pop up. I'm like, if I sell 10 body butters, I'll be excited. I just want to sell 10. Now
Hmm.
I took 40 with me, but I in my head I was like, oh, I'm new. I'm just getting started. People don't know me. I just want to sell 10. And I ended up selling 37 that pop up.
Boom. How did that feel?
And it listen, first of all, I was like, oh, because I wasn't in my head, because I was only thinking small, like, oh, if I sell 10, it's this much money. I don't feel bad. Da, da, da. And it was like, okay. And that changed how I think about going into each pop up. For me, each pop up, yes, I tell myself like, you know what, I want to sell out. I want to sell
Mhm.
out no matter what I have. And sometimes, I get close. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't sell anything. But I also had to value the people that I met networking. And I had to learn to shift my thinking of I want to sell, sell, sell. Nope. I go in how many people I'm going to meet networking, but
That
also not even and not thinking so small. And that first pop up taught me just to not think small, to not think about, oh, I just need to sell the minimum of this. Nope. Mm-mm. We're selling out every time. That's my thought process and on every pop up.
I
But
think a lot, I think what you mentioned, I didn't want to interrupt you, but what you mentioned about networking, can you like touch on like how much that has helped you?
oh yes, so in the whole time that I've been doing this, Networking has put me in front of people I never thought I needed when it came to business. Um, I would say my first pop up I did in Indiana, I met a gentleman who he like he didn't even sit at his table. He had a son at his table. He sat at my table. And when I tell you the notes that I had from that one pop up on the jars that I was using, the quality of the shea butter I was using, the different oils, and oh hey, call me and I'll give you this person. Call me, I'll give you that person. Hey, you know what? Make sure you email me and I'll send you to this person to get this, this, and this. That one person put me in front of people I didn't know I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even the host of that pop up, I anytime she has something, I try to always do it. Even she has put me in front of people didn't know I needed didn't know I needed them to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then at the pop ups, I've met other vendors who they shoot me messages like, "Hey, I'm doing this pop up. You want to do it? Hey, you want to split this? Hey, you know, I saw your jars. Where did you get them from?" And then I became that person like, "Hey, you know what? I saw this. Let me shoot this to you." And I
Mm-hmm.
learned how to network from other people. And I didn't know that. I'm like, it's like I don't mind sharing information, but it was like and me sharing information, that's a part of networking. You
Mm-hmm.
can't network without sharing information. So I have now become like more conscious of, hey, you know what? I saw this. Hey, try this. Or you know what? Hey, where do you get your jars from? Oh, I haven't, or I used to use them. This is where I use now. And learning to be that person to network. Um, but it's definitely important. You cannot be in any business. I don't care what you're doing, whether you're selling shoes, insurance, candles. If you're a photographer, I don't care what you do. You have to network
Mm-hmm.
because your word of mouth and people like, oh, hey, you know what? Check her out. She just cool, or she'll let you know what you need, or she know a lot of people or whatever. You can't do any business without networking. I don't care what you do. Period.
Yeah. I know it's 7 and we're about to wrap up, but I wanted to end on that. The networking is something that people underestimate
Mhm.
when they go into networking events. Whether you're tired, whether you had a long day, you don't want to look or you don't want to look like what you've been through because you don't never
Mhm.
know who you're gonna meet. You know what I'm saying? I'm very big on presentation is everything, and come in seeing what you can give versus what you can always take. Um,
Exactly.
a
What
lot
the
of
what the, what the
people,
old folks say? A bird in hand is better than a thousand in the bush.
yeah, people come in. I've done networking events, and people come in wanting people to come to them. You have to get up and circulate. You have to get
Mhm.
up and be. Your energy is what's going to draw people to your table. Your energy is what's going to draw people to buy from you. If you're sitting on your phone the whole time, you can't complain that
Whew,
you didn't make
that
money.
burns me up.
You can't complain you didn't make money because you didn't make money because you weren't making money type moves. You
Mhm.
invested your money to get a table, right? To be somewhere with other people so you can push your product. Why are you not pushing your product? You haven't arrived. You're not on a store shelf, which means you got to go push your product. You know, you can't just depend on the organizer and the DJ and people around you to sell your product. You got to be your best promoter for yourself.
Mhm.
That's what
The
it's
other
about.
thing too is so at pop ups, I make a point to meet somebody else and connect with them. Just even if I don't know what I need from them or what I can give them, I make a point to meet somebody and get to know them and hey, you know what, shoot me a message, or hey, what's your Instagram? And then I'll share their stuff in a heartbeat. And I've gotten people who I haven't talked to them since I met them in a pop-up, but they always share my stuff when they see it. Um, but I make a point to meet somebody at a pop-up. I make a point to even just introduce myself, even when I'm passing my cards out to, all the vendors, like, this is my card, blah, blah, blah. Um, but you have to put yourself out there. Like you said, you're selling yourself first before you sell your product. So,
Mhm.
and if you not even on your phone, but if you don't look approachable, I'm not coming to your table. I
No.
don't listen. I might need whatever you have, but I'm not coming over there if you got your face balled up with the RBF and all of that. Like, nah, I'm good. So,
That part.
no, I'm
And
good. And
people
go
sense
ahead.
negative energy too, by the way.
Hmm.
You can have the best product out there, but if you already came in with your mind made up, don't curse yourself. Like if you already came with your mind made up that you ain't gonna sell nothing or people aren't gonna show up, that's what I mean by what do you bring? Not
Hmm.
monetarily. I'm talking about bringing the right energy to ensure that the event is a success for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think
The other
people
thing is,
forget
take care of your host. You gotta take care of your host.
that. Yeah,
I'm
that part
serious.
too.
You gotta
That
take
part
care of
too.
your host.
I've had people give gifts because they like, oh, you didn't have to, because your host is the one that invested, your host is the one that promoted, your host is the one that put everything together and did all the legwork that you didn't have to do. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I never thought of it like that. I'm just like, well, I do this because I like it. But I remember the first time somebody gave me something, I'm like, oh, well, thank you, you know. But I had to think about it, like Nikki, you're the one to put everything together. I had before we end, I did have a vendor who was like, "Oh, we're charging for this, like you're charging for people to come in." Yes, ma'am. Uh, because your host invested $300 for a venue. Everybody got to come out making money, and business is not just about you. You got to look out for everybody around you that you say you're team working with. You know what I'm saying? The reason I pick certain venues is because I want to highlight personal owners and get them business also. They even though they may not be a vendor per se, and I'm investing in their venue, that's still exposure for them too. They got to
Hmm.
win out of the deal too. You know what I'm saying? That people probably have never been to the venue. They're like, oh my gosh, I've never been here. This is nice. People like if your people like people pay money to go to a club and don't get nothing out of it.
Nothing.
They got to pay at the door, then they got to pay for their drinks, and then they got to pay for their food.
Ma'am, you gotta pay for watered down drinks, even
Yeah,
if you buy top shelf.
yeah. So you have to like if that's not what if that discourages your people, then that ain't your crowd, and you're not my client. Because I'm looking for
Hmm.
people who I want to grow this thing. There are people vendor shows that people are paying 500 for a table, 1,000.
Listen.
Okay, for a table. I've done the research because I want to do a big wedding, the first ever wedding expo here in Gary. We don't have stuff like that. It's always in Chicago. So I want
Hmm.
a wedding expo here in Gary that highlights black owned businesses around your local people who make good cakes, who know how to do all that stuff that they can hire and get business. And literally those tables at wedding expos are a grand,
Hmm.
but they offer something for that grand. You're getting exposure. They have a following. They can charge those type of prices. You know what I'm saying? And the money that they're getting, that's not profit. That's something they're going to invest to make sure that they get people out. Like
Exactly.
the
You have
venue they're
and
paying for is expensive. They're in downtown Chicago and they're paying for food and things to keep guests there and
you're paying for
decorations and
promotion. The promotion is
promotions.
not cheap.
No, they're not. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But tonight we're gonna wrap it up. It was good talking about entrepreneurship. Look, if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, don't let these things scare you. When it's scary, that means it's worth it. If you feel you're passionate about something, nobody can fire you from your talent. Even if you
Hmm.
want to do it part time, you ain't got to be a millionaire. Everybody doesn't want to be a millionaire, but have that plan B because your job is not always going to be there. Pandemic has taught us that.
Oh
You know,
yes.
you're disposable at your job. So whatever gift you have, if you want to do it for just enjoyment, you know what I'm saying? Do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't limit yourself in this life. You only live once. Not
Mhm.
everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur. That's okay. But hey, go work for an entrepreneur. Help them build their business. You may be good at that. You know,
Yep.
you may
And to
be good at
add
that.
to that, nothing is gonna be perfect.
No,
You can want the perfect website, the perfect whatever. It's not gonna be perfect, and it's okay. And it's okay. The point is to build off of what you currently have. You can revamp, you can rebrand, you can do all of that. You can add to what you start with and
mm-hmm.
keep going. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it won't be perfect. I don't care if you say I'm about to put 5,000 into starting this one thing, and say, oh, it's got to be perfect. Waiting on perfect and waiting on perfection will take forever. I don't. How many times has Nike added to their brand and their logos and all of that and taken away and done that? You know,
Right.
how many times have McDonald's changed their logos over the years since once they started? So it's not going to be perfect, and it's okay.
It's okay. There's never a right time. You just got to get to work, have
You
a
just got to do
plan.
it.
You just got to
You just
do it.
Yep, you just got to do it. For me, that was my biggest thing is I wanted it to be perfect, and it's now I'm okay with okay, it's not perfect, it's still not what I want, but I know okay, once I have this, then I can add to what I want to keep improving, and that's the point to keep improving.
Yep.
You can never just reach a plateau.
And don't get in your feelings about anything. Do not get in your
Oh,
feelings if
baby.
people don't support. Don't get in your feelings if your family and friends don't share. Just you're gonna make money with strangers, and don't be attached to an outcome. Just put in the
Hmm.
work, put your head down, stay consistent, and definitely the things, even when it looks like it ain't about to pay off, it be right there. Just keep going. Okay. But um, this was a great discussion tonight. I can't wait for next week. I'm gonna make sure we have a guest because I know too many entrepreneurs for us not to have any. And I definitely would like to do something with some of the other entrepreneurs that we all invite some people on and have a panel. That'd be pretty cool. Um,
Oh,
multiple people
collab
talking
lab
about their
panel.
business. Huh?
Collab lab panel.
Yeah. So that'd be dope. So stay tuned. Next week is gonna be dope. We're gonna bring some guests on and tune in. Tell everybody if you're an entrepreneur, like this is National Entrepreneur Month. But thanks for tuning in. If you did, definitely go follow us on Facebook. Go subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and we will see you next week where we rock truth or nothing at
Nothing
all.
at all. Peace.
Peace.